Today might be the best day ever because I finally have a purple soap in my line. I know, purple, me, finally. But before I talk about what that soap is, hello, I'm Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, sudsers? Welcome back to Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things. And today we are doing the next soap in the Birthstone line, and we are doing the Pearl soap for June. June is a very interesting month because technically speaking, there are 3 stones that are commonly accepted as birthstones for the month of June. And we have the pearl, we have the alexandrite, and the moonstone. And that's cool, but we're gonna do a pearl. And this particular bar, as I said, it is purple. It's shades of purple. We also have some activated charcoal thrown in there to get some cool grays. And I am very excited about the concept and the design of this pour. And I'm excited to see if the vision that's in my head will come to fruition in bar form. So let's go check it out. On the soap table today, we have the June Birthstone Soap. And I decided to go with a pearl and did some other things to like bring the other 2 birthstones that are commonly associated with June into the mix, the alexandrite and the moonstone. But we will talk more about, my soapy vision with this guy, later. But these are all the colors and the things that we will be using for the soap. We've got the kaolin clay, we've got the 3 colors, we've got the scent, and we've got the pearls that I made out of soap dough. And we will do a video really soon, actually doing a whole video on soap dough, how to make it, to give you a recipe, do the things, and then what we make with it. But the oil blend that I have for the June soap is 30% coconut oil, 30% palm oil, 30% olive oil, and a 10% mix of argan and shea. Now, you see this? Look, not emulsified. Yeah, it's separating. Keep mixing. And we're going to keep mixing until we hit emulsification because I do want to keep the batter really, really fluid for this pour because it's kind of a complicated one. It's not really complicated, there's just kind of a lot of layers. So another emulsification check and not quite there. It's separating there on the bottom, so keep mixing. It's very, very close to emulsification, and that's great because as soon as it gets there, we are going to start spreading. Yep, that's good. Ship it. We're going to start mixing or separating all of the batter out to get ready for the stages of the pour. Now, with this, I get my purple soap, first and foremost, because this is my bar. I'm a June baby, and purple is my most favorite color in the whole world, and I don't really use it a whole lot in soaps. And so for my birthstone soap, I get to do purple. And I'm very excited about that. So the purple, the reason why I really stay away from purples is because it's kind of hard to gauge what a purple is going to do in a soap batter once it's, gone through saponification and, hit your solid form. And it can gray, it can lighten, it can go like, a pink. Purples and reds are tough. And I make it even harder because I use, kaolin clay in my soaps or clays in general, and so that definitely changes the color as well. So I am really just eyeballing the amount of the purple, the darker purple that I'm putting in the base at this point, and I have no idea what to expect with the cut because again, I've never done like a purely purple bar that wasn't in like a hot process form. So I don't know, we're playing. and I think it still needs more purple. Yeah, see, there, need more of it. But that's going to be about as purple as I think I can get it, and I'm going to move on to the pour. Now we are ready for the pour. Now for the pour of the bar itself, this is a 3-stage pour. You have the purple base, and then I'm going to do an in the pot swirl for the second layer with white, the light purple, the dark purple, and the black, and pour that all on top of the purple that's currently in the mold. And then on top of that, a little bit of white, and then, you know, the pearls will go on top of the white. So I guess technically it's like a 4-stage, but it's 3 pouring, and then, you know, you decorate the top. Now, the reason that I went with these colors and with this type of pour is because the June, you know, birthstone, it's actually birthstones. There are 3 that can be accepted for the official birthstone for June, and it's the pearl, which I think is the most common, and it's cool because, like, in mythology, it's, you know, the teardrops of mythical creatures, right, or of Aphrodite, mermaids, and that's awesome. And pearls themselves are like the only stone that doesn't need to be like cut or polished, right? Goes straight from oyster to beautiful pearl form, and that's cool. And there's also alexandrite, and alexandrite's really cool because it is sort of a color changer, right? And so you have all these different hues that you can find within an alexandrite stone. You can find, you know, purples and blues and reds. It's very changeable, much like Gemini, which also, you know, exists within June. And then you have the moonstone, and the moonstone has some cool color changing properties too. So I decided to go with topping the, you know, the June bar with pearls, but using the color scheme that I did to sort of have that changeable quality that you can find within the moonstones and the alexandrites. And the biggest reason I ultimately decided to go with June for the pearl for the June birthstone is because I am using a scent from Nurture Soap that is called Dark Pearl. Now, according to the description at Nurture Soap, it is chamomile and lavender with a touch of myrrh, and that's cool. And apparently it is a dupe from Lush's Black Pearl, which I have no frame of reference for. I've never smelt it, so I don't know. But according to the soaping notes, this thing discolors to a light tan, and so I did not want that. So I actually did a 50-50 split between the dark pearl from Nurture Soap as well as some rose to, you know, give it a little bit of a more of a floral scent, really. And that was my final reasoning and decision-making process behind making the June Birthstone Soap a pearl over the alexandrite or the moonstone. Now, what I'm doing with the 3 colors that I've poured off here, I am pouring them into the white to create an in-the-pot swirl that will then be poured into the mold on top of the purple that is setting up very nicely while I'm working on this. So this is a reason why I wanted to keep the batter pretty fluid, because an in-the-pot swirl, you are going to be taking all those colors and sort of mixing them into each other, creating some beautiful swirls within the actual, you know, the Pyrex, and then pouring it into the mold in different ways to create different sort of effects. I'm going to do kind of what I would do for a thin lines pour, in the way that I am laying it down on the purple soap that's on the bottom, in that I'm just going to go up and down the length of the mold, along the sidewall, and, you know, get it all in there, and it will create some really cool thin lines in the final cut is the thinking there. That's the goal, and, you know, we'll see if I did the thing. But I just love watching how a thin lines pour from an in-the-pot swirl sort of ribbons into the mold. It's very satisfying, and it makes such cool different, you know, lines and swirls and stuff within the finished product. I'm so stuck on thin lines pours right now. It's not even funny. And now I have reserved a little bit of the white that I poured off, you know, earlier, and I am going to top the, you know, swirled portion with the white. That, again, the kaolin clay goes into every section of this. Some of the scent goes into every section of this, and I reserved just a little bit of white to put on the top, just to give the pearls that we're putting on the very top some. I wanted to give them, you know, a nice white base so they would really stand out on their own and not be sort of hidden amongst the colors that we used for the swirl portion, because again, that swirl portion, that is the colors of the pearls that I made, really. So that was my reasoning behind, you know, putting the white on top of all of that. Now I'm going to want this to set up kind of a lot because I'm going to texture the top. So I have to actively walk away from the soap at this point and allow it to set up. I wait about 10-15 minutes before it's thick enough to then, you know, take a fork to it and texture the top to give my pearls sort of somewhere to sit. And the reasoning with this was I wanted to put them down the middle of the bar, the pearls down the middle of the bar, kind of like when you open up, you know, an oyster or whatever and you see the pearls inside. Did you guys ever see those Facebook live things? I don't know if it's still a thing, but for a while there was like this oyster pearl company thing, and some of my girlfriends did this, and they were like shucking oysters on live stream, and there were different ways that you could purchase the pearls or the oysters themselves and whatever the pearls were inside. It was like a mystery bag that, you know, my kids love, the blind bags, but with oysters and pearls. Was I the only one who saw that? It was a thing. It was crazy. It was crazy addictive too. Like you could continue. I watched so many of those things. I never bought any of the pearls, but the process was just fascinating to me because they're sitting there with these giant knives that I would absolutely cut my finger off with, and shucking oysters on Facebook Live, and I'm thinking, does it smell? Is there juice everywhere? Is this like, it was fascinating. Please tell me that I'm not the only one who got into that, because that was a thing. That was one of my favorite things ever, was when a random live oyster shucking video would come on. Anyway, I have been adding the pearls to the top of the soap, and after I finished the middle, I decided that I wanted to sort of do what we did with the May birthstone and just do, you know, leave one side exposed and unbejeweled essentially, and actually stick to that and just do an entire loaf with just, you know, the stones on one side and not across the entire, you know, top of the bar. So just putting in the last few little pearls to accomplish that, really. And then this guy will go through gel, set up overnight, and we will cut him tomorrow. Okay, it is cut day, and before I get into the cut, I just have to say the scent of this is so good. The chamomile and the lavender and the myrrh mixed with the rose, it's lovely. It's a very like sultry scent, and I'm digging it. So that's good because, you know, it's the June bar and June birthday and all that jazz. And the cutter has made its way back. Mr. Soap and Clay is amazing and amazing at all things, and he gave me an IOU for Mother's Day for a new soap cutter, but he is fabulously busy, so it will happen someday. But for now, I was told that I needed to bring the cuts back because that was one of the satisfying parts of the video, so we're doing that. And look at that beauty. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh my goodness, I love it. And I love how, you know, cut through the pearl and there's the white inside and the color on the outside. That's so pretty. Oh my gosh. I am in love. I'm super happy with this bar. Oh, yes, it's great. Now everything here is really very smooth, and the pattern with the thin line. This is why I love thin line pours, because look at that. That's just, those are cool lines. That's just so nice. And I am happy that I decided to go ahead and use some sort of like rose gold type pearl colors for the top as well to give it some, you know, brightening with the darker pearls that we used. And that's just, yeah, I love it. The bars themselves, they're really well formed. They're not at all soft. They're actually pretty firm bar. That's kind of what you're going to get when you're working with a 60% solid. It's actually 65% because you have the shea in it as well. Solid oil or butter in a soap recipe. They're pretty firm, so I'm going to need to stamp these reasonably soon, otherwise I'm not going to be able to get the stamp in it. But yeah, that's delightful. Look, that's a June birthstone, guys. That's my birthstone. Did I mention that my birthday is in June? Have I mentioned it 7 times? 12 times? Yeah, June birthday, baby. And I have my purple bar of soap. I love the purple that it ended up being too. And yeah, you let me know what you think of it, in the comments. But that is day 57, the Pearl Soap June Birthstone. And it is so pretty. So that's the June Birthstone Soap, the Pearl, and it's beautiful, right? I really enjoy this bar. The scent is really cool too. I've never worked with this blend before, wasn't quite sure what to expect. Again, I picked it directly because of the name, and it seems to work, so that's awesome. And I love the thin lines pour on top of, like a solid base, and the use of soap dough in this particular recipe was a lot of fun too, to sort of mold the pearls on top. And I think we'll do a video really soon with soap dough, and you can, see the actual process of formulating a soap dough recipe, as well as, the making of the things to put into soap. And that will probably be a soap apprentice video, because she likes that, or she did at some point, until she had to do it in a big batch. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. If you have any questions about the bar, the process, or anything in general, put them down in the comments below. I'd love to chat with you. If you're interested in purchasing the Pearl Soap, the June Birthstone Soap, yeah, you can do that. It's on the website at soapandplay.com. If you would like to follow me on social media, I'm there. Do the things. And if you are interested in a giant box of Soapy Love giveaway, definitely subscribe to the channel, because we are going to be giving away a huge box of stuff as soon as we hit 500 subs on the channel. And I'm really looking forward to that. And the subscribing helps me and helps me get legitimate as a real YouTuber. So, subscribe and do the things. If you have any ideas for any soaps, send them my way. I'd love to play with your soapy vision too. So that will pretty much do it for me today. Again, thanks for sticking around, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Bye.